Hello there. Former Tory Cabinet Minister Lord Lilly reminds us that if we leave the EU with no deal, we save ourselves a monumental £40 billion. Writing in The Sun, Peter Lilly says that not only would the country save itself 40 billion quid with a no-deal WTO Brexit, it would also lead to the EU offering us the most favoured terms its other leading trading partners enjoy. He goes on to say that there would of course be winners and losers across the board in all of this, but that by applying tariffs to EU goods being imported into the UK, there would be enough to compensate any of the losers. He also pointed out what many forget, that any attempt by the EU to try and somehow punish the UK would mean that the EU would be contravening its own constitution, which requires it to have good relations with its neighbours. And he says, freed from constraints of EU membership, we could negotiate our new relationship as equals. But The Guardian is, of course, having none of the optimism of the Brexiteers. Its readers crave Brexit pessimism and national Brexit destitution, and the more epic, the better. In a piece for that outlet today, the Austrian former EU Commissioner Franz Fischler says that a no-deal Brexit would have catastrophic economic consequences and be a disaster for the young people of the UK. Don't you just get fed up with all this negativity and fear-mongering? You'd think we were planning to fill in the Channel with concrete, mine the English Channel, post ACAC guns along the coast and scramble to Angels 1-5 to keep EU airliners out. Anyway, the odds of a no-deal WTO Brexit are still increasing, with The Independent reporting that the Latvian Foreign Minister, Edgars Rinkēvičs, thinks that the chances of the UK getting a deal with the EU are now at the 50-50 point. Mr Rinkēvičs is due to meet the UK Foreign Secretary Jeremy Hunt in the Latvian capital of Riga today, and when asked by the BBC if UK attempts to win over individual member state leaders would work in the face of EU Commission opposition, he said, "From our point of view, the EU is united as 27 countries. We are also satisfied to see that there is a more detailed position of the British government that constitutes good ground for really trying hard to reach a deal. So having said 50-50, I would say I am remaining optimistic." And Brussels has now rejected suggestions that Theresa May could negotiate individually with all the other EU 27 leaders at the informal EU summit in Salzburg next month, which is officially about migration, with one senior source telling The Guardian, "That is completely ridiculous. That is complete overspin of Salzburg. It would mean that we would ditch our negotiating approach of the last 2 years and discuss at 28 instead of 27-1, and I don't see why this would happen." And now to that laughable piece of so-called research that took 2 polls from before and after Theresa May's Chequers Brexit deal and mashed it up with data from the ONS and elsewhere. Then it was claimed that the results showed everyone wanted to stay in the EU after all. Well, one of the cities mentioned in that piece was Coventry, where the researchers claimed that 2 out of every 3 constituents in Coventry would now vote Remain. But, says the Coventry Telegraph, asked if they had changed their minds since the June 2016 vote, Coventry Live readers pretty much responded with a resounding no to that question. It went on to say that many actually think the reverse is true, and some said they believed the situation was completely the other way around, with those who voted to stay in the EU now wanting to leave, the report said. And I personally tend to agree with those people on the ground, not some number-crunched spreadsheet or database. So, please let us all know what you think by leaving a comment below. Thank you for watching. Please do like and share this video. and also subscribe to my channel. And when subscribing, please do remember to press on the little bell next to the subscribe button. That way you'll get an alert every single time I put up a new video. Thank you very much for watching.